Welcome, everybody, to my site about homesteading and buying and selling rural property in Virginia. I'm a licensed real estate agent, and my name is Paul Smyers, and this is my specialty. I live in a beautiful rural area in the Shenandoah Valley, and today I'm going to talk about what it really takes to maintain your property. When you buy a home, a lot of people don't realize that it comes with some costs because let's say you have your mortgage financed and you say, okay, it's going to be like, let's say it's $1,000 a month or something. Well, over the period of time that you live in a home, especially if you have children or pets or something, you're going to encounter different kinds of costs that you need to save up for because what happens in the real estate business, a lot of people, you'll see these homes, and I feel so sad that some people have just let their home decay and over the years, maybe it was inherited or forgotten about or something, and nobody cared about it anymore, and it just begins to disintegrate. And you see that happen in the real estate business. However, if people maintain a home, it's their best investment that they are making. Most of people, they buy a home, and it's a very sound investment if you take care of it. And what I suggest people, the buyers that come to me and I talk to them about, if you see something that you really like, just go ahead and buy it. But improve it. Bring your own skills, your own design imagination, your upgrades, your personality into the property because there's a lot of really beautiful homes that I've walked into. They have no personality. They're just like giant things, the same that you find in Lowe's. Maybe it's a bigger light fixture or a bigger wall or a higher ceiling or fancy guardrails on your steps or whatever. But essentially, it's just a lot of stagecraft. And the old style homestead life that I'm talking about in rural Virginia is very popular in many parts of the country because when people came to live here in this country, and even the natives who lived here, they made their whatever occupy space that they had, they made it into a livelihood, a shelter, places where they can cook and manage, and often they have the horses. Or in Virginia and many parts of the country right now, that is very, very true. You have to have the right zoning to do a homestead type of lifestyle these days because a lot of people think that they can buy, like, even if you buy a $500,000 house with 3 acres, but you better be careful about what's in that deed or that deed restriction or that homeowners association fine print because you may not be able to have your chickens or your goats or all that stuff. Or there are some communities in America where they'll even say that your lawn has to be mowed like 2 or 3 inches, and if it's not, then you might get a knock on the door someday. So, what I'm talking about is how to maintain your property, to maintain the value, and it requires some foresight and some planning. Now, I have like a logbook here, things that happen, any kind of water issue. I put up the gutters. I installed some fruit trees. I just make a little note every day. I don't need to do it every day, but every so often I'll make a bunch of notes and say, here's what I've done so far about certain things. And I address certain problems and make notes for, let's say I sell the property. I will be able to show people that I've cared for the property, and here are some diagrams. For example, I have everybody should get a plot map. Find out the dimension on your property. The one I am at right now, this is it's about 3 3/4 acres. This little piece over here is a 3/4 acre, but it also belongs to this whole homestead. And there's a number of structures that you can see, and that's what I'm going to talk about right now. When you have multiple structures on a property, you will very commonly find that in Virginia and many rural places because the old style living, like I said, make your home a livelihood. There are people who became wealthy in their families because they handed down a farm for 200 years. And then the grandchildren, the great grandchildren, they, for all practical purposes, they inherit a big farm and basically they don't have a mortgage, you see, but they do have operational costs. So one thing to do is go around in the beginning when you buy your property and look around all around the property, every structure, every building that's there. Go around the fence line if you have one, and just see, does that fence post need to be replaced, and make a little note of it so that you can say, okay, next time I see a piece of cedar on the side of the road, I'll grab it and put it in my fence post, you see. So I make notes myself about what I would like to do in this property, and notes change over the time. After a while, I maybe live here for a while, and some of my ideas have changed now. I've only been in this property about 2 years, and I plan to stay here a very long time. So, again, when you have a property, if you just bought it, like I said, or if you've owned it for a long time, it really serves you well to go around the property and find out exactly what it needs, because there are people who, let's say, an elderly person, they pass away, and then all of a sudden the people who are the heirs have to sell the property. Well, they have to evaluate, well, does it need anything? I mean, before I sell it, you see, I gotta figure out what it might need, otherwise it won't sell for a good price, you see. So it's a very important, actually, and I don't want to dwell on it too long, but like I said, when you get a house, go around, look around everything. The other day, a family member, they had a doorknob. One of the grandchildren came and they were embarrassed about it, but they grabbed the bathroom door and yanked the doorknob right off there. Like, it was a cheap one. I went to the store and for 25, 30 bucks, I put a new one on there, no problem, a better one. You see, so that's the kind of thing, but there are people who own houses that something breaks like that, well, whatever, we can't lock the bathroom door now, so just forget about it. Stuff drops on the floor, or something breaks, a piece of furniture, or you punch a hole in the wall with some elbow or something, and it sits there for years sometimes. And I've walked in some houses, frankly, that I don't know how people live in some of these houses, because they have lived there so long that every square inch is covered, and if they ever wanted to clean it or maintain it, it'd be like, whew. Even the repair people would say, oh my goodness, I'm sorry, lady, but I can't, or gentlemen, I can't do your house because it's just too much work and it'll cost a fortune. So, without belaboring the point, just go around your property and look around and see what it needs. In my case, spring is here very soon. Here it's February of 2025, and I'm very excited because Virginia is an incredible, beautiful, beautiful place in the spring. The Shenandoah Valley, literally like a piece of heaven. Now, see, right behind me is a nice mural. It's basically a tapestry, and you know, it's symbolic of the area that I live in, the beautiful Shenandoah Valley, where the land has hills and rolling terrain and beautiful views, but it's very usable. It's not steep like in Colorado and rocky. It has all kinds of good soil, plenty of water. So watch my other videos. Hope you come back and listen, and I really appreciate it. Like and share if you enjoy the content. Ask me questions. I love helping people. I'm semi-retired. I'm 72 years old, and I love this business, and I plan to do it the rest of my life and help people find a place to live and grow their family or retire to. So, again, thanks for listening, and I hope to see you in some of my other videos.